Welcome to the Biological Life Sciences channel. In today's video, we are going to see different cloning vectors such as bacterial artificial chromosome, phasmid, cosmid, TA cloning vectors and shuttle vectors. So let's begin. At the starting only, we are going to see what is the cloning vector and their abilities or their capacities to insert different DNA fragments. In case of plasmid, whose host is E. coli, it can clone up to 0.1 to 10 kb of DNA. While in bacteriophage, that is lambdaphage, it is able to clone about 10 to 20 kb of DNA. In cosmid and phosmid vectors, the length of DNA that can be cloned is 35 to 45 kb. In bacteriophage P1, it is 80 to 100, whereas in bacterial artificial chromosome, it can be up to 500, 50 to 300 base pairs. It can be increased also to a greater length. So in P1 bacteriophage, it is from 100 to 300 kbs. In YAC, it is 100 to 2000 kbs, and in human AC, it's less than 2000 kbs. So let's begin. Let's start with bacterial artificial chromosome, which is used in a cloning vector. A bacterial artificial chromosome, that is BAC, is a DNA construct based on the functional fertility plasmid or F plasmid used for transforming and cloning in bacteria, usually E. coli. So this bacterial artificial chromosome is a plasmid which is obtained from different bacteria having F pillars. So F pillars will have F plasmid in that bacteria, and this plasmid is used to construct bacterial artificial chromosome. They are capable of carrying approximately up to 300 kb of DNA sequences. A bacterial artificial chromosome, it's an engineered DNA molecule used to clone DNA sequence in bacterial cell. It is often used in connection with DNA sequencing, as the bacterial artificial chromosome vectors are readily used for sequencing projects. Segment of an organism ranging from about 1 lakh to 3 lakh base pairs can be inserted into the BAC, which is engineered properly. Because BAC is much smaller than the endogenous bacterial chromosome, means the bacterial chromosome or native chromosome of the bacteria, it is straightforward to purify BAC DNA away from the rest of the bacteria. Means rather than bacterial DNA, the BAC can be easily purified, thus have cloned DNA in purified form. Therefore, this and other powerful features of BAC have made them extremely useful for mapping and sequencing mammalian genomes. So let's see the common gene component present in BAC. There is a presence of REAP-E gene. This is required for plasmid replication and regulation of the copy number. Means what is the number of this BAC in bacteria, that is regulated by this gene. Then there are two genes called para-A and para-B. It is for partitioning F plasmid DNA to daughter cells. Means equal division of F plasmid should be there while the cell is dividing. And it ensures the stable maintenance of BAC inside in the offsprings or the offsprings bacteria that are produced. There is also presence of selectable markers. These are very important for antibiotic resistance gene, and some BAC also have LAGZ gene at the cloning site for blue-white selection. Now there are two promoters here, that is T7 and SP6 phage promoters for transcription of inserted gene, and there is also a presence of ORAC site. This ORAC site is very important for the replication in bacteria. It's the origin of replication. So this is the bacterial artificial chromosome. The example here is PBAC108L. You can see here there are para-A, para-B gene, then there is a presence of ORAI site, then RIP protein A. Here this is the cloning site where different cloning sites for different enzymes are there. Then COS site is also there, and there are two promoters at this site, that is T7 and SPL promoter. This is depending on the requirement or depending on how the replication will be occurring. There are different promoters. Now let's see the molecular cloning in BAC, how the cloning is done. Let's proceed with the first step. The bacterial plasmid, that is F plasmid, is cut within the LAGZ gene. So now this is having LAGZ gene, and it is used as a selectable marker gene here. So it is cut at that position with the restriction enzyme, and with the same restriction enzyme the DNA fragment of interest is cut. Now what will happen? The restriction enzyme which is used here will form a cohesive sites on both sides. See here on the DNA transfer, it is also having cohesive site, and on this side it is also having cohesive site. Now what will happen when this plasmid is subjected with this fragment of interest and ligated, it forms a structure like this. So you can see the F plasmid total structure is a very small structure, and the amount of interest or DNA of interest that you are adding is a bigger one. Now this BAC is transferred into E. coli cells through the process of electroporation. As you know, electroporation is giving slight shock to the bacterial cell, in which it can take up the DNA. So now this DNA, that is bacterial artificial chromosome, is taken up by the bacteria. As we are having the LAGZ gene here, it is used as a selectable marker. So we have to use two components, that is XGAL and IPTG in the medium. XGAL is the substrate for lac-operon and IPTG is inducer of lac-operon, that is LAGZ gene that is producing beta galactosidase. Now you can see here, if the plasmid is inserted into the bacteria, only plasmid is inserted, then it will form a blue colony because it is not having the fragment of interest. And if the plasmid is inserted with this foreign DNA, then the bacterial colony will form a white color. Now, and thereby you can select the recombinant here. You can see the bacteriophage, BAC structure here. There are different genes involved in this and the makeup of this. Now you can here add your fragment of interest in the LAGZ gene so that it can be used for cloning experiments. But in some BAC there are different selectable markers also present, such as ampicillin resistance and likewise, and these are helpful in cloning experiments. Okay, let's see now the phage-mate vectors. As the name suggests here, phage-mate, it is a combination of phage and plasmid. Example here is P blue script plasmid. It's an example of combination between plasmid and phages, so the name is phage-mate. So it represents a hybrid type of class of vector that is served to produce single stranded DNA. So here single stranded DNA, when in some genetic experiments we require single stranded DNA. So in that case, this is very helpful where single stranded DNA is produced. There are different features. Let's look at the features one by one. Like PUC vectors, which is P blue script, is derived from multiple cloning site inserted into the LAGZ gene. So in as we know, in PUC vectors, selectable marker gene is LAGZ gene. Here also the selectable marker is LAGZ only, and here the plasmid blue script is also containing the origin of replication of single stranded phage, that is F1 phage, which is producing single strands DNA, and it is also related to M13 phage vector. This translates into cell harboring a recombinant phage-mate if infected by F1 helper phage that supplies a single stranded DNA. So it helps in replication component and it will produce and pack single stranded DNA of phage-mate. So what will happen? A double stranded DNA is converted into single stranded DNA by using this F1 helper phage, and that can be used in different cloning experiments. Okay. So in this phage-mate there are around 2961 base pair plasmid, and it is derived by replacing PUC19 polylinker of PBS plus minus with a synthetic polymer. So this region is replaced here. Here SK designation indicates that the polylinker is oriented such that the LAGZ transcription proceeds. So LAGZ here is preferred because this is a selectable marker. The region of LAGZ here is from the restriction enzyme site SAC1 to KPN1. There are around 21 unique restriction sites in the multiple cloning region here, and it is helpful in blue-white screening. In vitro RNA transcription with T3 and T7 promoter is done by RNA polymerase enzyme. It can be also used in double-stranded as well as single-stranded sequencing. This is the structure, or this is the plasmid blue script second SK plus minus phage-mate. So you can see the orientation here. There are three genes, that is ampicillin resistant, the PUC ORIC site, that is origin of replication, and then ORIC site in F1 phage also. So whenever it is put inside, whenever a phage is infected here, what will happen? It will produce a single stranded copy, and it can be help in sequencing projects, because you know, and in sequencing the single stranded DNA molecule is required. Okay, so you can see here there is a presence of LAC repressor and the LAGZ gene here. The plasmid blue script is of around 3 kb, and there is a restriction site of two restriction enzymes SAC1 and KPN1. So here is the presence of multiple cloning sites. So phage-mate is also a very good vector in cloning experiments. Now let's see the next vector, that is cosmid vectors. As the name suggests here, cosmid is cos site plus plasmid. Cosmid are the plasmid that incorporates a segment of bacteriophage lambda DNA, and that has a cohesive end site. Lambda phage DNA is having two ends, that is having cohesive site, that is cos site, which helps in circularization of this lambda DNA when it is infected. So this site is added to the plasmid, and this helps in fitting this plasmid into the virus and then infecting. So it contains element that is required for packaging of DNA into the phage particles. So this cos site is very important. Now, it is normally used to clone the large fragment of DNA. The size here can be 25 to 45 kb, and they can replicate as plasmid if they have suitable origin of replication. So if you add a ORI site here, such as co-even replication system, ORI site for E. coli, it can also replicate in bacteria. And they can be also packed in phage capsids, which allow the foreign DNA to be transferred into the host cell by transduction. So you can use this cosmid in two-in-one ways. You can either use it in bacteria for growing or increasing its number, or you can use it in phage also for infecting and transferring the fragment of interest. So let's see the advantage. Due to this, it is having lots of advantage. Here the transformation efficiency is very high because the rate of infection or the way of infection of phage is accurate. So you can clone, or you can insert this plasmid using the phage vector into the desired organism more easily. So it's having high transformation efficiency. The cosmid vector can carry up to 45 kb of DNA, whereas plasmid and lambda phage vector is limited to 25. So combining the plasmid and cosmid increases the amount of insert that we can add here. So it's a beneficial thing. Okay. Now let's see what are the TA cloning vectors. TA cloning, here T is thymidine and A is adenine. So let's see what is it. TA cloning exploits the terminal transferase activity of some DNA polymerase such as Taq polymerase. Means the transfer of group at the terminal end is the property of certain enzymes. So this is used here. This enzyme adds 3' A overhang, that is adenine overhang, to each end of the PCR product. What will happen due to this? This makes it possible to clone this PCR product directly into the linearized cloning vector with single 3' overhang. So there will be a 3' and 3' A and 5' T overhang on both sides of the double stranded DNA of PCR product, and this helps in circularization of that, and it is very easy to clone also. This polymerase lacks 3' to 5' proofreading activity and adds a single 3' adenine overhang to each end of PCR product. If it is best if PCR primers have guanines at the 5' end, as this maximizes the probability of adding the terminal adenosine overhang. So here, therefore, it is very helpful in directly adding the PCR product into the different cloning vectors. Now let's see what is shuttle vector. Names, as the name suggests here, shuttle means it can grow in two different organisms. The vector have been designed to replicate in cells of two different species. Therefore, they contains two origin of replication, one specific for each host, as well as those genes necessary for replication and not provided by host cell. So for example, if you are using a shuttle vector in a bacteria and yeast, so it should have a origin of replication of yeast as well as bacteria, so it can grow or it can shuttle between both the different organisms. So these vectors are created by recombinant techniques. So it's an artificial vector. Some of them can be grown in two different prokaryotic species, usually E. coli, and a eukaryotic one, such as yeast, plant, or animal cell. Since these vectors can be grown in one host and then moved into another without any extra manipulation, they are called shuttle vectors. So YEP13 is an example of shuttle vector. Let's see in details. The yeast Saccharomyces cerevisiae is one of the important organisms in biotechnology. A developing of cloning vectors for yeast was initially stimulated by the discovery of plasmid that is present in most of the strains of S. cerevisiae. The 2 micrometer plasmid, as it is called, is one of the only a very limited number of plasmid found in eukaryotic cell. So this is limited plasmid that is used to form the YEPS, that is yeast episomal plasmid, and this can be used as a shuttle vector. So it's around 2 micrometer in size. Some YEPS contains the entire 2 micrometer plasmid, other includes just 2 micrometer origin of replication. An example of latter is YEP13. The 2 micrometer plasmid is an excellent basis for cloning vector. It's 6 kb in size which is ideal for a vector and exists in each cell at a copy number between 70 to 200, and replication makes use of plasmid origin. Several enzymes provided by the host cell, and the protein encoded by REP1 and REP2 genes are carried out by plasmid. So in turn, this whole machinery is set such that it can replicate in both the species and also transfer our fragment of interest here. However, it is not perfectly straightforward in using 2 micrometer plasmid as a cloning vector, because it has to be selected. How we can select the recombinant here? So therefore there is a presence of selectable marker also. So here, since it's in each cell, the recombinant marker or selectable marker used here is LEUT2 gene. It codes for beta isopropyl malate dehydrogenase enzyme. It is one of the enzymes involved in the conversion of pyruvic acid to leucine. So here the formation of leucine is used as a selectable marker. Now, in order to use LEU2 as a selectable marker, a special kind of host organism is needed. The host must be auxotrophic mutant that has a non-functional LEUT gene. Means what? The host, whichever we are using here, should not be able to form the leucine, and it should be dysfunctional in this gene. Such a LEUT yeast is unable to synthesize leucine and can survive only if amino acid is supplemented as a medium. So the complete media is used for this such kind of organisms where leucine is provided in the medium, and this organism cannot grow without the leucine. So selection is possible because the transformant contained a plasmid bound copy of LEU2 gene. So naturally we have added this selectable marker gene in the plasmid. So when this bacteria is grown on minimal medium, so if a gene of recombinant or gene is present inside that plasmid, then that should grow there in minimal media as well. So in cloning experiments, cells are plated out on the minimal media which contains no added amino acid, that is leucine. So only transformed cells are able to survive as they have the gene to produce leucine here. So this is the process. You can see here how YEP13 recombinant is taken here. This is the desired recombinant here. You are going to add a fragment of interest here, and this is the normal one. And here there is a presence of tetracycline resistance and leucine gene. Okay, now this is transformed into the E. coli. So what will happen? There is a color developed here. You can see to the colony, and this is the ampicillin medium, and this is the fragment of interest. Now this colony can be checked or used for purified DNA from several colonies, identify the correct molecule. As this is a minimal media supplemented with ampicillin, what will happen? This colony will be able to produce leucine, and it will grow on that, and you can purify this recombinant yeast having the blue color here, red color here, and when it is transferred again, there will be no other colonies grown here because these colonies are not having the leucine gene. So this is the complete media where everyone else is growing, and this is the minimal media where only the transformed colonies are growing here because there is a presence of LEUT gene. So this LEU2 gene is helping us to select the proper recombinant host. Thank you. Press like button if you like the video. Share, comment and subscribe the channel. Thank you for watching.